Greetings once again, vac fans, and longtime viewers will actually recognize this Dyson V6 that I did something to in a previous video a number of years ago. And I've done so many vacuums. It's kind of amazing that I could remember that I did anything to any of them, except for that right there. So I happened to do a full V6 test, and that's my little reflective tape strip to let me know how fast the brush roll was spinning. I can probably remove that. It's not necessary to leave that there. But this is a friend of the family's machine, and it's been pretty reliable, I think, over the last 5 years. And there was a problem, I think, understanding the function of this particular button right here. There was a complaint a while back where when they were using it, it would only last for a few minutes, very short period of time, rather than lasting, like, say, for an hour. And I found out that they just simply had the max button pushed. So these are older people that use these machines, and technology isn't necessarily, their strong suit. Anyway, the complaint now is this. So they're wondering if the battery needs to be replaced. So one thing they did tell me they did was, replace this filter. So that's kind of hard to grab, isn't it? So probably use a pair of like needle nose or whatnot. So this is a brand new filter. It looks and smells pretty much completely brand new. Not a big deal there. The rest of the machine appears to look okay. Obviously, you've seen the brush roll. So let's do just a typical evaluation. So here is the adapter cord, right? A plug, and then here is the regular AC adapter, wall adapter. All of this looks fine. I'm not seeing any evidence of splitting or whatnot. Sometimes I've seen where this particular plug gets shifted, in this mount. And when you go to, put this back in here and it plugs in, it doesn't plug in all the way. And maybe that's a particular problem that they're having. It's just like a no charge situation. So how about we try this? So this is a power meter. It's currently set to watts. And I'm going to take this and seat that in here. Okay. So it's now on its wall mount. I see that it appears to be charging. Do we see any charging power? Yes, we do. 22.4 watts. Okay. So that at least means that the AC adapter is sending power and the wiring is in good shape. And also the connector here is plugged into the handle base, and the battery acknowledges that there is charging going on. So we're at 22 watts. Let's just wait a few seconds. So battery appeared to be completely dead, did the little blinky light. Okay. Now, let me take this off and let's see if it does anything. Oh, okay, so yeah, and then it gives us that light. Okay, great. So we know that the machine is probably okay. We have not determined that this battery right here, which is a number of years old, is still, we'll say, in serviceable condition. So I'm going to stop the video right here and let this charge for some time, like, say, I don't know, give it an hour, something like that, and then come back and let's revisit this V6 and see if it runs for, I don't know, how about like a minute or something like that. Well, I have been charging for a few minutes here, as indicated up there. I'm seeing some very strange behavior. So most of the time, it'll sit around a tenth, maybe 2/10 of a watt. And every minute or so, it jumps up to 22 watts, and then maybe 5 or 6. Oh, there we go. There's 22 watts. And see that? The time increments. It says, yes, I've done something. And then it just goes back down there, to essentially charging it at idle current. So there's either a problem with the battery or the charging system itself, or possibly both. And just to make sure it's not a connection, let me just kind of wiggle a few things. These things have several cells in them, and it's possible that one cell is causing a problem. But this intermittent charging rate kind of bothers me, because that is not normally what you're supposed to see. It's supposed to start, the battery's dead or nearly dead, very, very high, and then slow down a little bit, like say maybe 22 watts, and maybe go down to 10, and maybe go down to 6, over a long period of time, and then go down to something in the idle. See, look, it's bouncing again. So there's something obviously wrong here. Now, this machine is a number of years old, and I don't think they'd lose any sleep over replacing it, or at least trying a battery replacement. But now I've got to check to see how much a new battery runs, and they probably have them aftermarket, but I've got to check. I think I've messed around with this V6 about as much as I want to. It's charged as much as I can get it to charge. So let's just run it and see how long the battery lasts. That long. Okay. Wow. All right. So, yep. Let me take this off here. I figured I'd have maybe at least a few seconds. Nope. Let's see. Can you even see that? Let's see. Let me change the focus. Yeah. So that's it. I'm guessing that's simply going to indicate that there indeed is there's a battery issue. And I don't think there's anything more we can do for this. I have looked up battery prices, and it seems to be that it's between about $50 and $100 or so, depending on whether or not you want the genuine, Dyson OEM version, or if you want an aftermarket version. There might be some other aftermarket versions that are, let's just say, highly questionable, and you might get those for like $30 or $40, but who knows? You pay your price, and you take your risk, I suppose. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.